Happy Wednesday! Welcome to episode 10 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. Each week through research, and in some cases using personal experiences where I actually visited these places, I'll be explaining some of the hidden and unknown attractions in the US and around the world. This week, we're leaving Oregon and heading over to Washington, the state that is right above Oregon and where one of its borders touches Canada. Washington State is located on the Pacific Northwest region, and its state insect is the green darner dragonfly. It's also a state that produces more sweet cherries, apples, pears, and red raspberries than any other state, as mentioned by the National Geographic website. In the city that is commonly known for its Space Needle, our first attraction is hidden under a bridge. This attraction was also shown in popular movies and TV shows, such as the Twilight movies, 10 Things I Hate About You, Sleepless in Seattle, and episodes of the TV show Once Upon a Time. At North 36th Street, Seattle, is the Fremont Troll, an 18-foot sculpture made out of rebar steel, wire, and 2 tons of messy ferro-concrete, or reinforced concrete, according to the Fremont website. The troll is shown lying down under the Aurora Bridge, with one hand lying flat out in front of him, while the other hand is shown crushing a Volkswagen Beetle. The Fremont Troll also has a beard and hair that covers only one eye, while the other eye is made out of metal. Originally, there was an actual Volkswagen Beetle used that was donated for the project after having been damaged, and was supposed to serve as a time capsule. Inside the car, there was a plaster sculpture bust of Elvis Presley. However, when one day the car was broken into and the Elvis plaster sculpture was stolen, it was decided to cover the car in concrete. Celebrating its 30th birthday last year, the Troll was built on September 30th, 1990, after winning the Fremont Art Council competition in 1989. It was created and sculpted by Steve Bedaines, Will Martin, Ross Whitehead, and Donna Walter. The idea for the troll is told by how the Fremont Troll became a symbol of creative resilience in a Tech Boomtown article, and specifically it mentions that the inspiration came from the Norwegian Fairy Tale 3 Billy Goats Gruff, a story of 3 goats that have to pass a bridge where a troll guards it. On October 31st, every year, the community celebrates Troll-O-Ween. In previous years, the community would dress up in costumes and gather under the bridge holding live performances. There is even a 2010 documentary made about the troll titled The Hall of Giants, the story of Fremont and the Troll. The Nutcracker, the popular known wooden figure that were made to crack nuts, were later designed to serve solely as decoration. In Leavenworth at 735 Front Street is the Leavenworth Nutcracker Museum that carries over 7,000 nutcrackers from over 50 countries. The Nutcracker collection belongs to George and Arlene Wagner, who opened the museum in 1995. Inside the museum, there are more than the nutcrackers that appear sitting on the table during Christmas time. The Nutcracker Museum official website claims to have nutcrackers that date back to the Roman times. Inside the museum, they also explain there are different ways to actually crack a nut, like applying direct or indirect pressure, screw, and percussion. Some of the nutcrackers in the museum include the 6-foot nutcracker made from linden wood of a blonde Bavarian man holding a cup of beer, named Karl. It was made by Karl Rappel of Ovamagau from Germany. This nutcracker is considered the mascot of the museum. Another nutcracker that can be seen in the museum is the Swashbuckling Pirate, made out of walnut and ivory, and it was made in France in 1870. The swashbuckling pirate is shown with what looks like a wine glass in one hand, while in the other hand he's holding his dog that is resting on his knee. Yet there are also the not-so-typical nutcrackers, like Star Wars or Mickey Mouse themed nutcrackers. And while going further into museum, there is also a display of bowls and other tools to crack open the nuts. There is even a day dedicated to nutcrackers, known as Nutcracker Day in Leavenworth, where last year it was held on April 13th. The day is filled with events such as making your own nutcracker, nut cracking demonstrations, and a scavenger hunt to find the nutcrackers around the museum. The website of the Nutcracker Museum also presents recipes made out of almonds, cashews, macadamia, pecans, walnuts, and pine nuts. The museum is open year-round. Our last attraction is an active volcano that towers over the state of Washington and measures at 14,410 feet above sea level, making it the tallest volcano in Cascade Mountain Range, and it's Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is in Mount Rainier National Park at Ashford, Washington, 39,000 State Route 706E. Flowing down the mountain are 750 feet deep ice rivers, while the volcano itself is covered in glaciers. Originally, the land of Mount Rainier National Park belonged to the Cowlitz, Muckleshoot, Nisqually, Puyallup, Saxon Island, and Yakima Native American tribes. It is believed that as snow and ice covered the island 15,000 to 10,000 years ago, tribes lived in the plains and valleys of Mount Rainier, as mentioned by the National Park Service website. In 1963, a rock shelter is believed to be 1,200 years ago or so was discovered, and inside it were leftover pieces of deer, elderberry, wild hazelnut, mountain beaver, chaired goat, and deer. Today at Mount Rainier National Park, there are 50 hiking trails, like the Box Canyon Trail or the Wonderland Trail, and different lakes, like Tippecanoe Lakes, Reflection Lakes, and Mowich Lake. However, there are also animals at this park, such as the black bear, black-tailed deer, and mountain goats. Thanks for listening to episode 10. Tune in next week as we explore more hidden attractions in Washington.